guys, Angus here with another Airsoft gun video for you guys today. Today we're going to be taking a look, obviously, at the Airsoft AEG in my hands. Now this is the ARES Amoeba S-Class CQB M4 Airsoft AEG. And if you're interested in picking it up after you watch this video, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsplat.com where you can purchase it for about $200. Now with that being said, what are we going to be doing with this gun? Well, we're outdoors on a rather cloudy day, and that's because we do have a performance test to do. Not only are we going to be chronoing this M4, we'll also be taking a few shots downrange at the target to see just how accurate it is and how effective its hop-up unit can be. With that being said, I might as well stop talking. This looks like a CQB gun. Is it going to have a CQB FPS? Well, let's chrono it and find out. It's important to note before we begin that for our shooting test and chronos, we use high-quality Elite Force BBs. Alright, so we've gone ahead and got the Extra Tech chronograph set up and ready to go, so let's go ahead and chrono the Amoeba. We've got our magazine loaded up with Elite Force 0.2 gram BBs. We've installed a 9.6 volt 1400 milliamp stick type battery, and our hop-up is set to 0. So let's find out this weapon's feet per second. 294.5, 299.5, 297.4, 301.2, 296.9, 298.7, 299.5, 297.7, 298.6, and 297.9. So very consistent around the 295 to 300 feet per second area. As far as rounds per minute goes on that 9.6 volt battery, 829 rounds per minute, which as you can see, converts into almost 14 rounds per second. Alright, so taking a look at the chronograph results there, overall I'm very pleased with what this AEG is shooting. Obviously, this is a CQB style gun, could even be considered an M4 pistol, I suppose, and we're seeing a CQB FPS, which is perfect. We've got a very consistent at 295 to 300 FPS. Might seem a little bit low to some woodland junkies out there, but hey, for CQB, this gun's going to get in every single time, and you'll be definitely allowed to use it, and that's a huge plus. You could even run this potentially as a sidearm out in woodland-style games with an FPS like this. Complementing the low FPS, we do have a rather nice rate of fire with the 9.6 volt that almost fits inside this gun at right around 830 rounds per minute or 14 rounds per second. So overall, the rate of fire was very respectable on this AEG, nice and fast to complement a low FPS. So overall, this thing definitely does have a CQB written all over it as far as chrono results go. But now we're going to go ahead and take a few shots downrange at a target to see just how accurate it is and how effective its hop-up unit can be. We're going to be keeping the exact same battery, however we will be adjusting our hop-up and switching over to 0.25 gram Elite Force BBs. With that being said, let's go ahead and fire at our first distance, a CQB style of around 75 feet. Alright, so from 75 feet out, everything seemed like a real easy shot. But let's back it up to a woodland distance of around 110 feet. Those final shots being fired there, we can go ahead and hop into the final conclusion of this performance test. Accuracy-wise, I was kind of a little bit disappointed as far as things go. Semi-auto at both distances, 75 feet and 110 feet, was pretty darn good. We hit the target almost every single time, or at least came into contact with a chair or barely missed it. I actually switched to 0.2 gram BBs for the 110-foot test simply because the 2.5s almost seemed a little bit too heavy. They continuously dropped. So I figured 0.2s, and we saw pretty good accuracy there as far as semi-auto goes. No feeding issues there. When it came to full auto, though, that's where I started to experience some feeding issues. BBs would come out of the barrel, some would fly high, some would drop low, and some would just kind of spin, curve around, some would hit the target. So overall, the hop-up's effectiveness on full auto wasn't exactly that great, I guess because it's firing so fast, I was having a hard time keeping up. I also had to wind quite a bit on full auto, whereas on semi, I could get quite a few shots off before having to wind again. So overall, the AEG was all right, you know, obviously better at the closer distance, being that it is a CQB gun, lower FPS, you know, a little bit better for the closer engagement. Farther, if you wanted to use this in a woodland game, it'd be all right, but you might be pushing it a little bit as you go beyond the 100-foot mark. So overall, the accuracy on this AEG was decent. The hop-up was good on semi, but some feeding issues definitely present on full auto. Combine all that with a low FPS of around 300 and a respectable rate of fire at around 830 or 14 rounds per second. And overall, you definitely have a good CQB M4 here. Low FPS, high rate of fire, and good accuracy at close ranges make this something that you definitely want to take to your close quarter style games and maybe use as a secondary in a woodland style game if you wanted an AEG, say, to back up your sniper or something like that. Overall, not a bad CQB gun at all. Might be pushing it in woodland games, though. So with that being said, guys, this has been Death Career Airsoft's performance test of the ARES Amoeba S-Class M4 Airsoft AEG. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.